forward number 2, Nathan Egea. The other forward number 3, Bruce 𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢. And center number 15, Jaime Gomez del Llano. And guard number 18, Rocco Melicor. In the other guard number 19, Daryl Valdeavilla. Their head coach is Paulo Mendoza. Check out now the starters of your Ateneo Blue Eagles. And guard number 4, Lance Lagdamen. At forward number 6, TJ De Los Santos. The other guard number 14, Henry Madranca. And center number 24, Christian Porter. And the other forward number 28, Zev Espinas. Their head coach is Reggie Varilla. Officiating is multi-mark green sheet.
Our starting five for the Fighting Maroons: Rocco Melicor, Nathan Egea, Daryl Valdeavilla, Bruce 𝔑𝔞𝔪�, and Jaime Gomez del Llano. That has been their starting five this entire season. As for the other side of Katipunan, Lagdamen, TJ De Los Santos, Undri Madranca, Zev Espinas, and Chris Porter on that front court. Now our referees for game number 2, Archie Ferrer, Jaime Jimenez, and Hernan Alejo. We're live here in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. Jaime Ascalon once again covering this game with Noah Webb. Noah, what are your expectations for this game? Because going back to their first round matchup, it was a comeback from UPIS. They only lost by 7 points in a high-scoring game.
Well, if UP can bring Ateneo to play their game, then they might have a chance at stealing one, as Ateneo immediately forces a turnover.
Here's Lance Lagdamen, the leading assist man in the UAAP. Porter reverses it, Madranca. Porter inside, quadruple teamed, and that's Zev Espinas with the first 2 points of Ateneo in 2024.
Porter sucks in so much of the defense that it leaves his teammates open to go and pick up those offensive rebounds.
Melicor getting fancy with it. Help defense was there for Espinas. It's Bruce 𝔑𝔞𝔪� on your screens, an elite rebounder as well. You know, UPIS, their age isn't talked about enough. They are an extremely young team here in the UAAP.
That makes sense. They all kind of look like kids. So that could mean that they should put more value on growing each game. Because from the looks of it this season, just being realistic, it's very difficult. Almost like a 99% chance that they're not going to make the Final Four. So how do they build on that, and how do they use that as valuable experience moving forward?
𝔑𝔞𝔪� from deep into downtown. Gomez del Llano with the offensive rebound, a recycled 14 for UP. Valdeavilla hesitates, float it up, and will get to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Good move by Valdeavilla.
I mean, this kid is averaging 26 points per game. What was your career high in the juniors division?
Let's not talk about that.
Let's not talk about it.
I think I was like career high, maybe like 15, but I would average like 5.
It's okay, at least you made it to the seniors division and won a championship.
Yeah, thanks.
As Valdeavilla goes 2 for 2.
That's a good sign.
Valdeavilla is shooting 90% this season from the line.
That is an impressive stat line.
Porter inside.
Wow.
Playing bully ball once again. 4 straight points now for Porter.
Porter almost feels unfazed by the defense of UP.
Valdeavilla at the left side. Gomez del Llano thought about it. We'll give it to Melicor with the shot clock dwindling down. 𝔑𝔞𝔪�. Great closeout there from Lagdamen. There's great defense from the kids of Ateneo. Lagdamen fakes, lands. They swing the ball around on the right side. De Los Santos uses the Porter screen. Lagdamen sidestep. Everything but the shot. Ball being stripped away. Now UP in transition. 𝔐𝔐𝔫𝔫 with a rock. 𝔐𝔐𝔫𝔫 bumped. Almost.
That is some good body control to be able to throw up a shot after being, let's say, thrown towards the sideline. That shot almost went in.
Every time 𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢 has that leather, you know, he's bound to do something we haven't seen. Such a slippery player, great with the handle, and a high IQ guy.
Usually when players have, like with his build, and you compare it to everyone else, he's smaller, he's thinner. For players to be effective, they have to have some sort of niche. And 𝔐𝔐𝔫𝔫 says that he's a great, he's a great scorer, so that means that he can adapt. He has good body control, and he's crafty.
UP starting off 4 for 4 from the free throw line. 3 minutes approaching here in quarter number 1. Prado to Madranca, inside pass, Espinas to kick out. Lagdamen drives, but it slips through his fingers. It will be UPIS basketball.
UP playing good defense there. Good intensity. Will they be able to keep this up?
𝔐𝔐𝔫𝔫 closely guarded by Prado. Valdevilla contested on the corner, and Espinas tallies a rebound. Lagdamen, early screen from Porter.
Stellano on Porter in the middle.
Porter asking for it inside, has the mismatch against Jaime. Shot clock reads 5 for Ateneo. Lagdamen for 3. In and out, but back inside. First three-pointer for the Blue Eagles.
Not just an assist guy, showing us that he can score it too.
Bruce will give it to 𝔐𝔐𝔫𝔫. Rocco, elbow jumper. That time too strong. Porter skying high for the rebound. Ateneo moving the ball around. Madranca cut off by Egea. Lagdamen, shot clock dwindling down again. He picks up his dribble. Madranca gets it on time, and Chris Porter almost getting the offensive rebound.
It seems like UP is going to need to send more people for the defensive rebound as they try to do their best on Porter. It looks like when Porter sets the screen, Porter's mark is not going to help. Staying attached to him as long as possible.
𝔐𝔐𝔫𝔫, three-pointer. Porter secures another rebound. Lagdamen surveys down court. Lance bounce pass was fouled on. That's on Egea. Quick substitutions here for Coach Reg early on.
18 seconds on the shot clock.
Mikey Ong will inbound from the baseline. Sends it off to Prado. Uno Prado on the spin move. That time too strong. 𝔐𝔐𝔫𝔫 sprints to get the leather. 3-on-1 fast break. Great decision there for 𝔐𝔐𝔫𝔫.
Yeah, there's a 1-on-4.
Egea rips it through, lets it fly.
Great attack. It's good to see UP aggressive early.
And they are a young team, Noah, but as we've seen in plays like these, they are fearless when they have that rock.
Yep, especially Egea, knowing that he's athletic enough to get it close to the hoop and be the first one there.
Chris Urbina checking in for the first time. Urbina is actually their third leading scorer. Gea makes his first free throw, so UP perfect from the free throw line. Great free throw shooting team, just like their coach, a great free throw shooting player.
I knew it. I knew that was coming.
I'm going to stop complimenting free throws. Porter contested from beyond the arc.
Oh.
The Guzman.
And that looks like a shot that UP is going to give Porter, because it seems on that last possession that they were in a 2-3 zone. And for those of you that don't know, the 2-3 zone is to clog the middle. And if you're going to give up any shot, it's probably going to be an outside 3. Wala namang inside 3, so.
Thanks for reminding us, Noah. In terms of securing those defensive rebounds, what can UP do better? I mean, that's something that they've struggled with immensely in round number 1.
It really is about shifting from offense to defense and making sure that your man, making sure that you know where your man is. That's especially hard when you're playing zone, because you're not always connected to a man.
Nice backdoor action.
Oh.
Tabong Banwa couldn't convert. Orbina skip pass, Ong from the corner. Straight off the bench, wala nang warm-up. There's that nice pass from Chris Urbina.
That was a good look. Almost a cross-court pass. And Ong making UP pay.
Gives Ateneo a 9-point lead, 4:11 remaining here in the first. Daryl Valdivilla has been limited so far here.
It looks like he's not, so far at least, not asking for the ball too much, not playing outside himself, which is good because he knows he's going to get those shots eventually on such a short rotation.
Valdivilla had no one to pass it to, and that's got to hurt. Off a timeout. Ateneo forces a turnover. And Valdivilla is holding down to what looks like his shin. And he has that support on him. What we do know is that that shin has been an impact on him in round number 1.
Well, as a fan, nobody wants to see any of these players hurt. Looks like he's having trouble standing up on his own.
It's always a tough sight to see, knowing that he is your best player.
Yeah. And all that means is who's going to step up now?
So a substitution here for UP. This is Raven Pascual, who has not seen a lot of minutes in season 86. Nice closeout there from Tabong Banwa. Oh, open for 3. Second three-pointer of the ball game.
That shot was so pure. And like I said, when the defense is in a zone, the shot you give up is a three-pointer. And being completely fine with that.
Orbina, what a the pass. Porter couldn't finish. 𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢 with a 2+1 special.
Everybody on the ADMU 5 on the floor right now, pretty happy about 𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢 finishing with that and one. We look at him, grab that offensive rebound.
He is having a feast inside here in quarter number 1. Talking about Troy 𝔍𝔞𝔪�, who now has 4 points, gets another offensive rebound.
Getting his own rebound. And that is a mortal sin. Or at least should be a mortal sin for teams.
Prado fakes, one dribble pull-up jumper. Ong gives him a second chance of things. Prado will milk some clock. They reverse it to Urbina. Short corner, it slips through the fingers.
Good job at UP keeping it together long enough for ADMU to turn over the ball.
Urbina closely guarding 𝔑𝔫𝔫. This is a matchup we should see here. And 𝔑𝔫𝔫 stepped on the sideline. Great defense there from the notorious Chris Urbina.
You said it, brother. That pressure ADMU put on UP during that possession. That was just, they were in front of their way everywhere they went.
Perfectly drawn play. Urbina from the corner.
ADMU doing whatever it wants with UP's defense.
Unbelievable start for the Blue Eagles. 𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢𝔫. 𝔐𝔬𝔫𝔢𝔠 gives them a recycled 14. Ethan rejects the screen. Picks up his dribble. 𝔑𝔫𝔫 with 5 to shoot. Rocco to beat the buzzer. Can't get a shot off, and another stop for the Blue Eagles.
ADMU doing a good job of playing hard-nosed defense no matter who they're playing, no matter what the score. We'll see if they can keep up this intensity.
Urbina, two-man game with 𝔍𝔞𝔪𢢢. Help defense was there from Bruce 𝔑𝔞𝔪�.
Right into the hands of 𝔑𝔞𝔪�.
So the ball will remain with the blue shirts. 𝔍𝔞𝔪�. That time comes up short. 𝔐𝔬𝔫𝔢 with a burst of speed. 𝔑𝔞𝔪� squares up for 3. 𝔍𝔞𝔪� the offensive rebound. Reverse pivot. Still can't buy a basket, and Urbina with a scary fall there.
Yeah. I don't think there was any malicious intent, but that tends to happen when bodies clash in the air. Take another look at that. 𝔐𝔬𝔢 coming out from the sideline. Again, both were going for the ball. It was just very unfortunate. It was very unfortunate that Urbina fell on his behind.
So that, 2 free throws.
That hurts. That does hurt.
For Urbina.
He'll feel that later after the game, I assure you.
Less than 2 minutes remaining here in chapter number 1. What about the defense of ADMU holding on to just 5 points for UP? There's Valdevilla giving a thumbs up.
Giving a thumbs up with his ankle taped up. So I guess that means he's okay, just not for today's game.
Biggest lead so far for ADMU at 19, 24-5. 𝔐𝔬𝔫𝔢, nice drop pass. 𝔍𝔞𝔪�𝔢 off the glass.
Beautiful drop pass. If UP can steal away more of those easy two-pointers.
Oh, using the two-pass screen. Mikey double clutching. And it's his turn to get to the line and shoot 2 free throws. Mikey Ong averaging 3 points per game. Already has 2 threes.
Already double that with a chance to.
Mind you, in round 1, he had 4 3-pointers. Already has 2 in round number 2.
Exciting game for the bench players of Ateneo. I mean, it sucks to say, but that's the reality of it. Right now, UP as a team, especially where they are at the standings, they're basically intense practice for teams that they go against right now. And hopefully, UP can take advantage of that confidence that those teams have and try to catch some teams sleeping.
Great help defense from the Guzman. Espinas with a rebound. Urbina, burst of speed, kicks it out. 3-pointer, too strong. And now it's a foot race. Espinas versus 𝔬𝔤𝔬𝔬𝔬𝔬𝔬𝔬 who goes all the way.
Good. He's able to steal away at 2 points and finish with a nice-looking layup.
Ateneo can opt to take the last shot here in quarter number 1. Urbina will give it to 𝔬𝔞𝔪𝔢. And even 𝔬𝔞𝔪𝔢 aggressively going inside with confidence.
Nice try by UP. Double teaming 𝔬𝔞𝔪𝔢 on that one. But it's about tempering and learning not to foul.
Lance Lagdamen and Alfonso Tan will check in. So Coach Red really digging deep into his bench. And that's Coronel checking in for UP. So Henry 𝔬𝔞𝔪𝔢 who only saw 23 minutes in the round 1 of play, getting early playing time here. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, Melicor to beat the buzzer. And that will wrap up quarter number 1. 25-9 our score. Ateneo coming into the season, round 2, guns a-blazing. Summarize that first quarter for us, No.
So let me just say that Ateneo are pulling no stops.
Back in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. It's been a one-sided ball game so far, with Ateneo holding on to a 16-point lead. Valdevilla went down in the first quarter. We'll see if we see him in the second. Zip Espinas, you know, with his new haircut, he looks a lot more like Gabby Espinas, his father.
Yeah. And usually when players shave off their hair, it's because of a resolution of some sort. Oh! That was nice looking.
𝔐𝔤𝔤 bending mid-air. Couldn't convert on the basket. Alfonso Tan organizing the offense. Domangkas to Lagdamin. Espinas has the seal. And a little shove on Coronel.
Inevitably, when players fight for position, there is going to be some sort of imposing as they bang up against each other for the ideal spot on the court. And that's what happened there.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
So 𝔬𝔞𝔪𝔢 will inbound from the baseline. Espinas has the position. Ziv receives, kicks it out. Domangkas, he decides to drive, and he kisses it off the glass.
Domangkas finishing with a simple but effective layup.
Melicor showing out his float game here in the second quarter.
UB finally on the board after quite some time.
Domangkas reverses it to the left side. Espinas has been begging for it. Double teamed. Lagdamin. Hop step, kicks it out. Tan for three.
And Espinas is a problem right now for UB. He's trying to dominate down low and doing the great thing of kicking out.
𝔬𝔞𝔪𝔢 catching fire, nothing but net. They haven't missed a step here in the second round.
Yep, it's good.
𝔐𝔤𝔤, high looper. 𝔬𝔞𝔪𝔢 comes up with a rebound and will give it to his point guard. Lagdamin, two-man game with Espinas. Ziv with 𝔐𝔤𝔤 on him. And a pushing foul there. That time it's on Ethan 𝔐𝔤𝔤. I believe that's his second personal foul. Check that, that's his third personal foul.
But with Coach Pau's lineup being so short, who will step up? Him being in foul trouble.
Coach Pau will call a timeout as his team still down by 19. Darrell Valdevilla was getting ready to check in. They're trying to warm up his ankles. They're going to need a lot of Darrell Valdevilla in this game.
Yeah, that tends to happen when players play an average of 35 minutes a game.
Alley-oop play off the baseline inbound. Ateneo is just getting to their spots.
Ateneo is doing what they want. Espinas showing UP a good case for why a strong big man can make such an impact.
Espinas, of course, in his first year, already averaging double figures. You gotta like the headband. Did you ever have a headband phase?
Yeah, for a while. When I had long hair, my second year.
I remember that long hair. You also had the kalbo phase.
Yeah, my last year I was kalbo. Ateneo imposing their will, making it so difficult for UP right now. Such an aggressive show of defense. You can bet that they're going to throw doubles. Oh.
𝔍𝔫𝔢 breaks away and was fouled. Two minutes gone by. UPIS still looking for their offense here in the first half. The handoff to 𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢. One-legged fadeaway. Does not get the bounce. Give it maybe 2 years, he'll be really good at that shot.
Yeah. There's not much to be excited about the UP team right now, but it's the potential that they have that they're hopefully building on this season.
Swigo short on the 3. Lagdamen sprays it out. Tan on the floater. 0 for 2 on that possession. 𝔍𝔫𝔢 playing bully ball inside, and the putback is good that time from 𝔬𝔞𝔪�.
It's good that Tagbanwa was able to put himself in a position to be effective, even if he was not the one that took that initial shot.
Lagdamen wants a screen from Espinas. He takes a 3. It's nothing but air. Substitutions coming your way now. Chris Porter back in the ball game, so more bad news for UP.
Yeah, but UP hoping to counter that Porter vacuum that Ateneo has with the 𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂𝔂
situation because UE now stands at 4-4.
Yeah.
So they want to stay in that middle of the pack.
Yeah, and try to improve their standing wherever they can.
But of course, the standard, as we saw so far, as Chris Porter gets an easy bucket inside. Going back to my point, Adamson is the standard this season.
Yeah.
With 7 wins and 0 losses.
They're the opposite of what UP is. In the standing.
In the standings.
In the standing.
It's number 19, Troy de Guzman, who had a stellar first quarter. Re-injected back in the ballgame.
Ateneo playing with such an aggressive zone defense. Zone, full court defense that turns into a full court man-to-man. Throwing a double whenever it looks like they're throwing a double once the ball carrier crosses the half-court line. And that's definitely what you want to do to a team like UP that only has a select number of go-to players.
Melichor trying to zigzag inside and was fouled by Porter. Can you imagine if this UPIS continues to grow as a team?
Yeah.
And they're all in their sophomore, junior season. You can only imagine what they would be in their 4th year together.
Yeah. I can only hope that none of them leave, because I can imagine that the select few players that do create have offers from other schools, and that's always a danger. Because all of this would have been for nothing being able to go through this hard time together really builds something together.
Tan. He's been trying from long distance. Porter saves the leather. Right idea for Tan, but a little too much muscle and excitement on that pass.
Yeah. Seeing him open, so open, just wanted to get it to him right away. Oh, that's a carry.
That was a foul on the Guzman. They really make you pay talking about Ateneo when UP drives in the tight corners.
Yeah.
And that's when Ateneo smells blood.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. If the defender is able to cut off the ball carrier is forced to turn around. That is the optimal time to hit him with a double.
𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢 from mid-range. Rebound, Urbina. Chris with a burst of speed. Three-pointer. That time short. Now it's a fast break opportunity for Melicor. Rocco pulling it back out.
Flop.
And that's a flopping call on Urbina. So it will mean free throws for UP. No Oscar will be awarded today.
Technical foul on number 11, Chris Urbina, for making a foul.
And I always admired the players that would do that in the right place at the right time, because it means that that's another aspect of the game that's not so straightforward. It's taking charges, selling flops.
Ikaw magaling ka nun eh. But
No,
it's the acting. Which nakuha mo sa lolo mo? Which nakuha mo sa lolo mo?
Never taken a charge, bro. I always just want to fight. I wish I did. I wish I knew how to take charges.
That was a nice cut from Egea.
Yeah, rewarded with 2 points. Egea is another guy, and sorry, let's just talk about Egea. Egea is another guy that I'm very excited for in the future.
Porter is now out of the picture.
Oh no.
Numbers for UP. Melicor scoops it up.
Oh.
And Porter is on the opposite side of the court.
This is
You don't want to see any more injuries.
definitely not.
Let's take a look at what happened on that last play. I believe he stepped.
Oh, okay.
Stepped on Jaime's foot.
Yeah. All right. Thankfully, obviously, again, we don't want any injuries. It's painful to see it, but thankfully it's only an ankle sprain. It would be a different beast if it went up the chain, to the knee, to the groin. But ankle sprains are one of the most common injuries in basketball, and prayers up to Chris and his rehab moving forward.
So Valdevilla's left ankle and Porter's left ankle are both being nursed right now. In the meantime, UP still struggling to find their offense. Urbina and ꞋSistyio, two-man game. Chris sends it to Mikey Ong. 9 seconds left to shoot. Ong locates Urbina for three. And that rattles home.
Ateneo doing a good job of using the full shot clock and finding the best shot possible.
6 threes now for Ateneo in the first half. Still none for UP. Urbina. That's a nice move from Urbina with the patience.
Yeah. That's what you want in your point guard. You want the ball to find the best shot. You want someone who's steady.
Madranca airmails the three. This is currently the biggest lead of the Blue Eagles. So as we are seeing, they're much of a different team compared to their very first game of the season.
Yep. And that's one of the best things to watch, is when you see, like you said, a different team from the second quarter, from the second round, from the first. And that's why it's fun to watch juniors basketball.
On Pilipinas Live, for only 149 pesos a month. Daming sports.
Bro.
Yeah, right?
But they also have 24/7 NBA
They have
live stream.
NBA, PBA, UAAP, volleyball, PVL.
Damn.
They have the whole package, just like Noah Webb.
Naunahan mo ako ah.
Meron din silang cooking show.
Ah, talaga?
Ako ikaw. In the meantime, still no three-pointers for UP. Less than 3 minutes remaining here. Mikey Ong, heat check.
Oh, Mikey Ong looking to extend his career high. Or sorry, I'm not sure if this is his career high, but it's definitely one of his most played minutes. And this is a good thing for Ateneo. If you can get the confidence in your bench players up, very much like the important pieces in the seniors, LaSalle, Policarpio, having grown from the first round to the second round, Ateneo can find that.
And they continue to splash it home, that time from Unri Madranka. That's 7 threes now for the Blue Eagles. 𝔐𝔤𝔤, that seems to be his go-to shot when he drives. Madranka again. Oh, the extra swing. De Guzman from beyond the arc.
And you can see Ateneo's bench having fun with it.
The Bongbanwa corner pocket. Still no threes for UP.
That's not for lack of trying, for sure.
And that time, 𝔐𝔤𝔤 took it upon himself to make things happen.
Set enough threes.
Getting a standing ovation for Owen Kalanasan.
We go back to building confidence for your bench players. And this boy, just looking at him, is a big boy. And if he can find that confidence, well, that would be a huge part.
The reason why they're giving him a standing ovation, this is the first time he's playing this season.
Wow.
Talking about Kalanasan.
Another key piece for the future for Ateneo.
𝔐𝔤𝔤 really going to work. Finding a home on the free throw line. I mean, you look at kids like Kalanasan.
I know.
For a high schooler, you know, you look at players like Colin Sakoe, Chris Porter, earlier on, John Alejandro.
Yeah.
The times have changed that these kids have built.
Oh, yeah.
Skill.
Yeah. The first juniors game I called for FEU. And walking into the arena, I didn't know if they were the juniors team or the seniors team, honestly. It's just like strength and conditioning and the importance of it, and rightfully so, caught up all the way to the juniors level.
I mean, in your time, Noah, were players this buff, this built?
Some, only some. But now it seems like every other player knows to take their strength and conditioning seriously.
Yun din eh, you know, yung strength and conditioning, the evolution of basketball has changed with it.
Yeah. That's a good thing, because if you take your S&C seriously, that means less injuries or faster recovery from those injuries.
De Los Santos from the free throw line tried to bank it home. foul inside was called. So there's 7 seconds difference. Or check that. 17 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock.
SC still doing a good job of keeping the ball alive for Ateneo.
Suico signaling out a horns play. Wanted to give it to Kalanasan. To Bongbanwa on the run out. Bruce, finger roll layup. That one a fancy one.
That was nice. That's a slide by.
Ateneo can take the last shot here in the first half. Jaime was ready to deflect the pass. Egea to beat the buzzer. That will not count. And that will end 2 quarters of play. Ateneo doubling the score of UP. But what happened in that second quarter? Another great defensive quarter for the Blue Eagles.
Yep, seems like the Eagles are able to impose their will whenever and wherever they want on the post from the 3. Really practicing their offense against UP's zone. UP trying to find a way into this game, especially missing their main scorer in
Daryl Valdevilla.
Yes, in Daryl Valdevilla.
Went out in that first quarter after.
UP's thrown or have stuck with a zone, a 2-3 zone for most of the game. And Ateneo's made them pay with 7 made threes. That's around 40%, and that's great from the three-point line. If we're gonna look at our assists, Ateneo's leading with 11 assists. So that means that they're able to find the open man. And we here from the officials table can see that when the ball goes in, it always finds itself outside in the hands of an open Ateneo player.
And of course, for UP, we've seen players other than Valdivia score, but it's just not enough. They have been struggling from the field. 6 for 33. Valdivia has only played 5 to 6 minutes after going down without ankle injury. As for Ateneo, waxing hot from downtown.
Yep. They're able to find the open man. Ateneo is able to run through their plays and refine it. And let's see if they'll be able to keep up that hot streak coming into the third quarter.
So we take a look at our leading scorers, Egeia, Tumbong-Banwa, and Melicor. And Urbina, Ong, and Chris Porter, who also went down with an ankle injury, his left ankle, the same as Valdivia. So we do hope those two players are okay as we enter half number 2 here in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. Well, what's something that UP can do here, Noah? I mean, looking at who's starting at the start of the third, still no sightings of Valdivia.
And fair enough. It really seemed like he was having trouble walking. But to answer your question, UP needs to get better shot selections for their players to take. So far, it's been all transition offense, usually 1-on-3, 1-on-4.
And Zip Espinas caught hanging out on the shaded area for quite too long.
And that's where he's very comfortable with. As we've seen in the first half, he's a big body and is able to dominate inside.
Tumbong-Banwa. Jaime comes flying in for the offensive rebound. Melicor rips it through. That's his signature shot. Melicor has had an off game so far. Espinas will give it to his point guard. Here's that horns play they run. Lance to Domangkas. They reverse it this time. Madraca to Domangkas. Shot clock down to 7. High looper won't hit rim.
Unfortunately, Melicor efforts were wasted as he went for that defensive rebound, touched it by accident, and it still ended up going outside.
Steal that time for UP. Bruce attacks Lagdamin. De Los Santos on the run out. TJ sidestep, double clutching. Hang time move won't work. Nice rebound there for Pascual. Tumbong-Banwa fakes the handoff. Mid-ranger is pure.
Able to find some space and pull up. Hopefully, this sparks something in Tumbong-Banwa. Is able to help his team cut into this lead.
Lagdamin finding himself open for 2 points. Jaime drives baseline, spin move. Nice strong attack from Jaime. You were telling me you want to see more aggression from Gomez Del Llano.
I definitely do. Having known his brothers personally and having known how skilled they are.
You having know them personally, sino pinakagwapang Gomez Del Llano?
Ako, bro. Gomez Del Llano din ako eh. Pero sabihin na lang natin si Jaime.
There we go.
Si Jaime.
You know, Chris Porter is not on the bench as well, so
yeah,
we do hope he's okay.
Yeah, we do hope he's okay.
Lagdamen gets a switch. De Los Santos, one-on-one against Melicor. And TJ De Los Santos, liking the matchup, just can't connect. Melicor. To 𝔂𝔤𝔤𝔬𝔢𝔯𝔰, back to Rocco. Melicor in his bag. But De Los Santos with even better defense.
𝔬𝔤𝔬𝔬 doing a great job of being where the ball was, keeping that possession alive for UP.
Pascual, right side passing for UP. 𝔬𝔤𝔬 sprays it out. 𝔬𝔬𝔬𝔬, no good on the three. A refreshed 14. 𝔬𝔬𝔬 not wasting any more time. So still no threes for UP.
You know what? Honestly, this looks like a revitalized UPIS team. The only thing that I would like to see better is shot selection. But other than that, they're crashing offensive boards. They're taking care of their defensive boards. And just like that, Ateneo is calling a timeout to make sure that their players take this game seriously.
Coach Denok Miranda, head coach of the FEU seniors team, also supervising the juniors team. Doon din yung anak niya, si Dwin Miranda. And Coach Mark Isip, part of the stacked coaching staff of FEU. Orbina with the ball fake. Melicor.
Yeah.
That has to feel good for Melicor.
See, the thing is, UP is playing great right now. Everyone's crashing. Everyone's going for loose balls. But with such a short rotation, it's almost impossible to keep up this intensity for the rest of the half. Very
Another
unfortunate.
3-second call. That's the second of the third quarter.
Yeah, UP seems to be like all things are going their way for this quarter so far. Let's see if Ateneo can spoil the fun even further.
They are starting the quarter much better with an 8-2 run.
Yeah.
And now we see Chris Porter back on the bench. So we'll find out if he will be inserted in by Coach Reg. Melicor, a couple of dribbling moves. 𝔬𝔬𝔬𝔬, corner pocket.
Oh. Still no threes.
That has been the missing link for UP. 0 for 14 from long distance.
I'll take that shot though. That was a very nice open shot. 𝔬𝔬𝔬𝔬 had time to set his feet, set his hands, and it almost went in.
Orbina challenging 𝔬𝔬𝔬𝔬𝔬.
𝔬𝔬𝔬𝔬𝔬 a bit too excited on that.
It's his third personal foul. So you mentioned fatigue, but foul trouble is another element that they need to take care of.
And I'd say they're directly correlated. The more fatigued you are, the more likely you are to not play honest defense.
Orbina sends it back out. Suico. Orbina with the rip through. A little too much passing for Ateneo. Another stop for UP. With 4 minutes gone by, it's been all UP so far here.
Check out.
Melicor from deep.
And still no dice for UP.
Prado. The handoff to Suiko. Urbina tried to drive baseline. The little shove gets the space. That was nasty from Chris Urbina.
Oh, dropped his man. Most important part about dropping your man is making the shot. And he did all of that.
𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢, it's left off the rim. The bullet to Ong. Suiko with daylight. Still doesn't connect on the three-pointer. Here comes 𝔐𝔤𝔤. Ethan running full steam ahead, which he has been doing the entire game.
And finally, 𝔐𝔤𝔤. Oh, what a nasty move. And sinks it, cementing that highlight. And I'm sure he's saving that to his library later.
Post niya na yan sa Instagram story niya mamaya.
Rightly so. Repost ko. Post mo, tag mo ako.
Guzman sends it across court. Mikey Ong looking to challenge Pascual.
UP doing a good job of not letting Ong do what he wants.
But you know, you have to love Pascual, under control, disciplined defensively. He has not seen a lot of playing time, but
I agree. He didn't even play last game. So hopefully this will help Pascual in the games to come, help cement his confidence as well as the coach's confidence in him to somewhat lengthen this short rotation that UP has so far.
You have to maximize those windows of opportunity.
Yeah.
And you've seen it all, Noah. You've been part of the rotation, sometimes out of the rotation, a bench player. You've seen it all.
Yeah.
But the attitude never changes.
Honestly, it was something that comes with maturity, right?
Mature ka ba?
Minsan.
So UPIS will retain possession. Coach Reg still without his star big man. And Chris Porter has not seen minutes in the second half. We are more than halfway done in quarter number 3.
Antoneo's throwing a double team at Melicor.
Melicor made it look so easy.
No problem.
To get it across court.
That's another thing in having a small frame. You can squeeze through.
𝔐𝔤𝔤 backing down all. Opts for the fall away. That one is tough.
Kobe. See if UP can string together a few points and stops.
Prado. Double team, looking for an emergency pass. Urbina squares up and puts it in.
Urbina keeping UP down.
Chris Urbina with 13 points, leading the way for the Blue Eagles. Melicor looking to answer.
And the ball will stay with UP. UP's big man doing a good job of keeping the ball alive as we look at this. 𝔐𝔤𝔤. Post move by the elbow. And Urbina answer with a 3. Back to the ball game.
𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢 shot fake. Turnaround. Ong with great D, but 𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢 says, I got better offense.
Now let's see if they can turn it on defense right now to cut into this league.
Jab step crossover. 𝔐𝔤𝔤 not allowing any room. Suiko now. Change of pace. 𝔐𝔤𝔤 comes up with it. Ethan, the no look to 𝔍𝔞𝔪𝔢 using his body, initiating contact, and the lead is down to 12.
Great job, UP, cutting into this lead and making us and giving us a ball game.
Another steal for UP. 𝔐𝔤𝔤 gets bumped, and 𝔐𝔤𝔤 will send himself to the line and shoot two. What are we seeing differently from UPIS? They have scored Ateneo 15-7 so far here in Chapter 3.
Well, the shot selection is slightly better, but what I really think the big difference is the energy. I think there's been a number of offensive rebounds and just taps keeping the ball alive to give teammates a chance to secure and give another shot out of possession. They've also turned it up on defense. Honestly, I'm quite surprised. But with the lack of Porter on the Ateneo side, and what Porter brings to the Ateneo team is almost instant offense. So let's see how Ateneo can adapt to him being out.
Urbina, he's had a hot hand. Too much spring on that pass. Melicor, the go-ahead pass to Egea. Ethan, no look to 𝔠𝔤𝔂. Misses the gimme.
That was a nice look by Egea.
De Guzman to a wide open Urbina. Package delivered.
Urbina is a constant headache for the UPIS squad right now. I think that's his third three this quarter.
Fourth three.
Fourth three
He has
this
not
quarter.
missed this game.
Insane.
Tan with the push-off. Urbina to De Guzman. Now to Suico. Two-man game at the right side. Suico rejects it. Melicor with great defense cutting off the baseline. Turnaround for De Guzman. Turning something out of nothing. And that's 5 straight points now for Ateneo.
De Guzman finding himself open. And that's pin move. Hello. 2 easy points. Pascual too short, too small.
On your screens is the most good-looking Gomez Del Llano, according to Noel Webb.
Sorry, Javi.
And right now, his job a little easier because Chris Porter has not played.
So 𝔠𝔂𝔂 with a nice turnaround.
The best player of Ateneo and the best player of UPIS both haven't played in the second half. Now the question is, who has a deeper bench in the supporting cast?
Yeah. UP not really known for having a ton of bench points.
We welcome you to the fourth and final quarter In the Battle of Katipunan, round number 2, UPIS trying to make one last run of things without their best player, Daryl Valdevilla. But 𝔖𝔞𝔫𝔢𝔰 in double figures, actually double-double. 11 points, 13 rebounds. There's Daryl Valdevilla, left ankle has been hurting.
But to be fair, Ateneo's best player is out too.
We'll see if Ateneo can hold on to this 15-point lead and get their 4th win of the season. But meantime, Melicor steps back, tough, right on the money.
And that Ateneo has been comfortable throughout this game, winning that first quarter by 16 points. And UP winning the third. And it shows with the outing that they put. As we look at that three-pointer by Tan.
That's his first three-pointer this game. Couldn't have come at a better time. Now he's tasked to guard the shifty Melicor. That time wins the battle. Tan to Tupas. Lagdamin goes to his strong side. Espinas was looking to give it to De Los Santos. Look at Ateneo sprinting to go back on defense as Egea was fouled.
No, Ateneo really needs to find a source of steady offense. They need an anchor out there with Chris gone. Especially with how much climbing they have to do up the standing in this second round.
Jaime, first three-pointer. Oh no, the referee signaling a two-pointer. I was ready to cheer for them to knock down that first three-pointer.
I'm not surprised with the three-point specialist accolade being part of that Gomez-Deliano family.
Tan made one earlier. This time takes it inside. Tupas
nice
tried to put it back. Numbers for UP. Melicor locates Pascual, but all day to shoot.
As you've noticed, and like we said a while ago, UP is running on empty now. That's one of the pitfalls of having a short rotation.
Lagdamin to Tupas at the post, has the height advantage. Tupas receives a double team. Espinas couldn't reach to get that pass off. So now we see De Guzman checking in.
UP doing a great job there, stressing out the big man to force that turnover.
Now Chris Urbina will re-enter. With 2 minutes gone by, a 14-point lead for the blue side of Katipunan. Dangerous pass. It ends up with Jaime, who gets fouled and will take two. Parang narinig ka ni Jaime. He's taking more shots now in the second half.
Dapat lang. He found himself open with no one in front of him and the ball. As he takes 2 free throws.
He misses the first. It's been the same 5 for UP for quite a while now.
The whole game, pretty much.
Lagdamin finds a lane. Urbina open. Can't knock it down though, but the ball will remain with the Blue Eagles. Lucky break there for UP.
Yeah. Urbina, this game has been hot as flaming hot Cheetos. I want some flaming hot Cheetos.
That's Tita joke number 5. Espinas has the positioning. Gomez-Deliano says not in my house.
No, definitely not in Gomez-Deliano's house.
So lots of time remaining here in quarter number 4. And the referees were quick to blow that whistle. That is the fastest whistle I've seen.
They probably saw him preparing for that.
Minsan mabibilip ka rin sa referees how sharp they are.
Definitely. Their job is not easy. There's usually always one villain that both sides dislike, and that's the referees, unfortunately.
He steps back. Butter! Don't look now. It's an 11-point lead. Urbina. He has been a microwave, but De Los Santos forcefully putting it back in.
Making sure that that possession was a plus for Ateneo. Ateneo throwing a triple team at Melicors.
Skip pass to Egea. Another step back. Three-pointer. Still no connection for UP.
UP needs to find better open shots.
Lagdamin. Add that to your highlights, young fella. That spin move gives them a 15-point lead.
As we look at that. Practice and smooth move.
Back after that UP timeout. They're looking to make a run here, down by 15. Melicor, a couple of crossovers. Jaime. Egea coming out of nowhere for the sneak attack.
It's amazing how he can just go from so quick to stopping and focusing on to make that shot.
Espinas likes this matchup against Jaime GDL. Finds Urbina cutting, and Urbina 2+1 special.
Espina is doing a good job of finding the cutter. Urbina doing a great job of being there. Look at this. 2-in-1.
How good has Chris Urbina been here in the second half?
Been amazing. He's definitely the best player of the second half for Ateneo.
Melicor trapped in the corner. Veteran move there though for Rocco.
Yeah. There's one thing that I learned from Coach Goldwyn being under him is that in an inbound, it's best to give yourself space. So you better start by the elbow, because because if you catch it too close to the corner, that's basically 2 defenders automatically on you. Oh, beautiful pass.
That's a great press break there for UP. And 𝔑𝔞𝔪𝔢 maximizes that stellar press break.
Great pass, great forward pass by 𝔐𝔫𝔤. Take a look at this, and 1. Oh, with the left hand.
It's been 𝔐𝔫𝔤 and 𝔑𝔞𝔪�, the double trouble for UPIS. And Bruce now with 16 points.
The big man of UP did a good job of keeping it alive.
𝔑𝔞𝔪𝔢, he has been trying and trying, but he's 0 for 11. That has been the missing link for UP other than Valdivia, those 3-point shots.
The missing link has been they've been missing their threes, bro. No threes yet for UP this game.
Espinas with some post-action. Oh, fake Jaime GDL.
Oh!
Are you serious right now?
What a play by Espinas on that one.
We need to see that again later on, but 𝔐𝔐𝔐 high off the glass.
Nice try by 𝔐𝔐𝔐𝔐.
Urbina will stretch for the rebound. De Guzman, right wing, back to Urbina. Sends it inside to Espinas, looking for cutters. Ziv decides to attack. Nice pass to De Guzman. A lot of hands there and great defense for UP. We have to see this one more time.
Again, this heads-up play. Oh, I love it. Yeah, with the up and under too. Good job by Espinas.
That's not a 10 out of 10. That's not an 11 out of 10. That's a 20 out of 10. Move from Espinas.
So Ateneo's been giving us some nice highlights this game.
𝔐𝔐𝔐𝔐 to Jaime. Mid-range, won't bite.
𝔑𝔞𝔪� with the offensive rebound.
Even his signature floater won't work. 𝔐𝔐𝔐𝔐 has been struggling from the field.
But that's the story of UP this game.
De Guzman. The kick out. That's Domacas with the hang time. Great hustle there for Pascual.
So for those of you who didn't know, even though it was unintentional, if there is an opposing player on the floor, the foul is probably going to go to who isn't on the floor.
So now Raven Pascual will be sent to the line.
We take a look at what happened. Yep, and he was tripped, although unintentionally. That does happen.
So substitutions will be made here. That's Magdranca checking back in. Raven Pascual with 2 free throws. This is his first. This is his first free throw attempt of the season. This is great experience nonetheless for players like Raven Pascual.
Definitely.
That time goes 0 for 2.
At least there was some adjustment.
Time on the favor of Ateneo. 𝔐𝔐𝔐𝔐 with the interception and the touchdown.
Oh, yeah. There's one thing for sure is that the guards of UP are sharpening their abilities as carrying the team has fallen squarely on their shoulders.
They release it to 𝔐𝔐𝔐𝔐. Alley-oop play. Jaime misses from point blank.
Good look by 𝔍𝔢𝔢.
So Coach Paulo Mendoza asking for a review.
Yeah. Valid.
Down by 14. Biggest lead of Ateneo was once at 25. UP has not led in this ball game. You know, they're still fighting. Talking about the UP, they put the fight in Fighting Maroons. And they've been doing just that. But di na nila nakakuha yung less than 12, less than 10. They've been stuck there.
Like I was saying, it's very difficult when you have such a short rotation. Like I think the 5 players you see on the floor right now for UP have played the entire game, aside from Pascual.
Pays to be young though, at least.
Yeah, definitely. This is very difficult to do in the seniors. Or
can you imagine playing 37 minutes?
I wish. I wish. But that third quarter that we saw UP come out with, that was very difficult to maintain, especially if you not only are you playing defense, you have to play offense as well, and your decision making suffers on offense and defense. More fouls, more easy shots.
So challenge is unsuccessful for UP. It will be Ateneo basketball. Ano kaya pinapag-usapan nila? Parang intense yung pinapag-usapan ni Lagdamen and ni Porter. Deep conversations during the game. In the meantime, Espinas, drop step.
Hey.
How many tough shots can you ask for? Are you not entertained, Noah?
Give me more. That was nice, being able to finish through that with a soft little touch with his left hand.
I mean, take a look at this. Off balance, flips it up.
Oh, very nice. Very nice, young man.
8-point now for Ziv Espinas. Coronel will check in for Pascual. Ziv Espinas is only 15 years old. So imagine him getting a growth spurt.
Even more.
Sky's the limit for the kid. More importantly, giving the Blue Eagles a 17-point lead. 𝔍𝔢𝔢 looking to initiate the offense. Melicor, he's been trying that shot and finally gets one to go. Approaching our last 2 minutes in the 4th and final chapter. That one would have been the statement. 𝔍𝔢𝔢 continues to run. Tabong Banwa misses. Melicor, back-to-back floaters.
This floater game is back on. Still got 2 minutes in this ball game. Maybe UP can make the score a little bit nicer or even pull off an upset.
Coronel was fouled. Check that. Coronel will foul Espinas. Lagdamen back inside, replacing Prado. Lance Lagdamen will trigger in from the baseline with less than 2 minutes remaining here. Urbina pops out. The screen for a wide open corner triple for Madranka. And that has been the story of the ball game. 11-3 for Ateneo. minute, 41 seconds. We'll see if UP can come up with a miracle here. Melicore has been hot in the past couple of sequences.
But just to give the boys some confidence, at least he was able to hit his floaters again. And maybe players should, part of growing up is choosing and knowing what works.
Melicore to Coronel. And they look out of positioning there. So it looks like Ateneo will get their 4th win of the season. The question is, will Chris Porter return in their next game as they try to get a better win-loss record here in season 86?
Having been a veteran of many, many ankle sprains, although I hope he does, I sincerely doubt that he'll come back next game.
And you know, the next 2 games, as you see Chris Porter, we did not see at all in the second half because of that left ankle. We'll find out on Wednesday if he'll be okay. But going back, Noah, our next 2 games, NU and FEU, Adamson and NUST, all in Final Four contention if round 1 was the end. So a lot of implications to start off this year. A true test for NU and Adamson in the top of the standings.
Yep. The following games are all going to be intense, high performance, high quality games, as each of these teams will begin to test each other.
But the question is, you know, with NU, who's about to face FEU, have you seen a player more dominant than Colin Sakoe?
Not in this.
Not in the juniors division,
not in
right?
This juniors division.
Seconds remaining here. And we have to give props to Ateneo, really holding their own despite UP, as your favorite term, having flashes of brilliance. They remained composed, they stuck to their place. We saw wide open threes from Chris Urbina. And they're gonna pull off this win.
Ateneo doing a good job of finding more players that they can rely on. And obviously you don't want any negatives to happen to your players, but a positive that you can take out is now there has to be a space that must be filled. And this is how you find players that can be those fillers.
That's a good point, because we saw some moments from Mikey Ong, from Unni Madraca, Alfonso Tan hit a 3-pointer, which gives them this win, number 4.
Yeah.
After 4 quarters of play, Ateneo on top, sweeping their matchup against UP this season. There's our final score.